What brand builders can learn from Ben& Jerry's, the ice cream that built a movement. This is the growth class, and I'm Phil Masiello, four-time exit founder, author, business coach. What do you get when two hippie friends with $12,000 and a $5 ice cream making course, no business background, open a scoop shop in a converted gas station? You get Ben& Jerry's. And nearly 50 years later, it's not just an ice cream brand, it's a cultural icon. This is a lesson in storytelling, branding, social marketing, and creating fanatical customers. Welcome to the Growth Class with me, Phil Masiello, the ultimate mini masterclass series for entrepreneurs, brand builders, and startup founders who are ready to scale. I love a great branding story, and Ben& Jerry's is one of the best and longest lasting, close to 50 years branding stories that I've ever seen. So please like, follow, and share if you enjoy these lessons. In 1978, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield didn't start with a $1 million idea. They started with a deeply human one: make great ice cream, serve the community, and have fun doing it. They weren't trying to disrupt the ice cream market. They were just trying to do things differently. Chunkier ice cream, wild flavor names, real ingredients, a whole vibe before vibes were even a thing. Ben and Jerry were childhood friends who initially considered opening a bagel shop but found the equipment too expensive. So they decided to pursue ice cream and took a $5 correspondence course from Penn State, learning the basics of ice cream production. In May 1978, they opened their first scoop shop in a renovated gas station in Burlington, Vermont, with $12,000 in initial investment. That's about $60,000 today. Still not a huge amount of startup capital. But Ben& Jerry's quickly gained popularity, leading the opening of their first franchise scoop shop in 1981, and then they started packing pints for distribution to grocery stores. The company continued to grow, eventually opening a factory in Waterbury, Vermont in 1986. And believe me, you can still visit this factory. It's a delicious tour. Ben& Jerry's is known for their commitment to social and environmental causes, which was part of the founder's vision from the beginning, as they aimed to balance profit with a positive impact in the world. So lesson one for brand builders: let your brand reflect you. Customers want authenticity. It's never enough to say your product's better. Better is subjective. And if you're the same as everyone else, then you'll always compete on price. But if you're different, then you have something special. Ben& Jerry's didn't try to compete with Haagen-Dazs, who was the market leader at the time, on sleek packaging or prestige. They competed on personality, on experience, on flavor names you couldn't forget: Cherry Garcia, Chunky Monkey, Fish Food. They didn't sell ice cream. They sold moments. They sold smiles. And they did it by being unapologetically different. Ben& Jerry's strategy differentiated them by combining unique, high-quality ice cream flavors with a strong commitment to value-based business practices, fostering deep customer loyalty and positive brand reputation. Lesson two for brand builders: don't be slightly better, be unforgettably different. Now, here's where they got ahead of their time. Ben& Jerry's tied their brand to activism long before it was trending: racial equity, climate justice, LGBTQ rights, fair trade. They didn't jump on bandwagons, they drove them. Ben& Jerry's is known for its strong mission-driven focus, which is integrated in all aspects of the company's operations. This mission is formally outlined in a three-part statement. Their product mission is to make the finest quality ice cream using natural ingredients and sustainable practices. Their economic mission is to manage the company for sustainable financial growth, increasing value for stakeholders and expanding opportunities for employees. And their social mission is to use the company in innovative ways to improve the quality of life locally, nationally, and internationally. By intertwining their business practices with a strong social mission, Ben& Jerry's has demonstrated that authenticity and courage can coexist with profitability, inspiring other companies to follow suit. They weren't afraid to stand for something, even if it meant losing customers. And that's not a marketing tactic, that's brand integrity. So lesson three for brand builders: build a mission into your brand, not just a tagline. Ben& Jerry's didn't explode overnight. They built a loyal following first, and their growth was fueled by love, not algorithms. Ben& Jerry's operate primarily from its factories in Waterbury, Vermont and St. Albans, Vermont in the US. Ben& Jerry's two Vermont factories churn out 1 million pints of ice cream a day to transport around the world. They use almost 10,000 gallons of fresh cream from local family farms in Vermont per day between the two Vermont ice cream factories. So from a loyal shop to grocery stores to national, then global, but the soul never left Vermont. So lesson 4 for brand builders, nail it locally before you scale it globally. Ben& Jerry's turned every pint into a story, every flavor into folklore, and every marketing move into a moment. By 1984, Ben& Jerry's were cranking out pints to sell in grocery stores far and wide, but getting their product into store shelves was no easy task. Lots of brands fighting for limited space. So when Häagen-Dazs, which at the time was owned by Pillsbury, tried to keep Ben& Jerry's pints out of the stores, the founders took action. We believed that Pillsbury's actions were illegal, said Ben, but we knew that in a strictly legal fight, we'd run out of time and money long before Pillsbury would. Our only option was to rely on our customers and the media to pressure Pillsbury into backing off. So we started printing the slogan, "What's the Doughboy afraid of?" on our pint containers, along with an 800 number for the Doughboy hotline. Everyone who called got a Doughboy kit with protest letters addressed to the Federal Trade Commission and the chairman of the Pillsbury board, and a bumper sticker. The campaign got national attention when the media caught wind of it, and eventually 400 people a week were calling the Doughboy hotline. And it worked. Pillsbury backed off and agreed to stop blocking Ben& Jerry's from store shelves. Success! Another tactic they used for earned media, to this day, is free cone day. Most entrepreneurs wait for big budgets. Ben& Jerry's made big noise with small ideas. Free Cone Day became their Super Bowl ad. Ben& Jerry's Free Cone Day originated in 1979 as a thank you to customers for their support during the company's first year of business as its original location in a renovated gas station in Burlington, Vermont. And this annual tradition has since grown into a global celebration with millions of scoops given away worldwide. Free Cone Day has continued to evolve with events in over 35 countries and a focus on community and giving back, often partnering with local nonprofits. So lesson 5 for brand builders, creativity beats capital every time. When Unilever acquired Ben& Jerry's for $326 million in 2000, people thought they sold out. But Ben& Jerry's negotiated something brilliant, a board that protected the brand's mission. The acquisition agreement included provisions for an independent Ben& Jerry's board of directors, tasked with preserving the company's social mission, brand integrity, and product quality. Despite this, the relationship between the two companies has become increasingly strained, with Ben& Jerry's alleging censorship and attempts by Unilever to dismantle its independent board and its social and political activism, particularly regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So Ben& Jerry's has accused Unilever of censoring its social media posts and even removing its CEO in retaliation for its activism. A key point of contention was the sale of Ben& Jerry's Israeli distribution rights to its local licensee, which Ben& Jerry's initially opposed. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, the founders of Ben& Jerry's, have expressed interest in buying back the company from Unilever. And Unilever has announced plans to spin off its ice cream brands, including Ben& Jerry's, Breyers, and Magnum. So even after the buyout, they kept their soul. That's rare, and that's what makes their legacy real. So lesson 6 for brand builders, scale doesn't have to mean selling out. Ben& Jerry's is proof that you can build a brand that's bold, joyful, values-driven, and wildly successful. So don't just launch a product. Start a movement. Tell a story. Build a brand that people love. Not just for what it sells, but for what it believes. Build something customers will follow, not just buy. These are the lessons that entrepreneurs and brand builders can learn from Ben& Jerry's. Lesson 1, let your brand reflect you. Be authentic and customers will connect with your brand. Lesson 2, don't be slightly better. It's not enough. Be unforgettable. Be different. Lesson 3, build a mission into your brand, not just a tagline. Live it and embed it into your brand's culture. Lesson 4, nail it locally before you scale it globally. Lesson 5, creativity beats capital every time. Find ways to get noticed without spending a ton on advertising. Lesson 6, scale doesn't have to mean sellout. Stay true to your brand and your brand mission. I hope you find this interesting and learn something about entrepreneurship and branding. And if you did, please like and subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you next time.